Vinamrika, we can start now.
We should wait for some more people to join in.
And YouTube is done, Manish?
Yeah, YouTube done. Attendees would not be able to join unless we start.
Rashi, then we can start.
We should at least start the thing, na? Matlab, so that people can, yes, I can see it's the host is now. It's live.
So I'm starting now.
I would request you to give it like 2 more minutes and you can just start maybe talking, but
yeah, I think we'll let the people join in, and then the introduction, maybe we'll wait for about 2 to 3 minutes, but I think what Manish is saying is unless he sort of puts it on board, I don't think the other people can join in, yeah, especially on the YouTube part. Yeah, so we'll probably take another 2 minutes before we introduce, right?
yes, so you can start talking.
All right, guys, we just, for those who have joined in, we're just waiting for the others to join in as well. And we'll start in a short while, guys. So just stay tuned. And for those of you who also, want to share this link, there's a YouTube live broadcast also happening. So we'd like for most of you guys to attend and make the best of it. We're just about waiting for about 2 or 3 minutes before we start. All right. All right, guys, just for your note also, people who have joined, just to keep you sort of, informed, we would like for you to share any questions that you have related to the topic or to what our speaker will be talking about today on your chat window, right? Please do share it there so that, we'll be able to address all of them, throughout the session, maybe at significant pauses or during the end of the session. We would love for your questions to come, but the generic questions around happiness itself is something that we will take up in the end. So please do be patient with us, and yeah, we'll soon be having some of your questions, your queries. It could also be some comments that you have or suggestions. It could also be that. So okay. The YouTube, like I told you guys, is also live. So the live streaming is happening. So if you guys have the link, it would be great if you can share it with more people so that, people who are not able to access the Zoom can also be a part of the session, right? So yeah, any queries around that also, please feel free to talk to us on the chat and we'll help you out with the same. All right. All right, guys, I think another 60 seconds we'll begin. So those of you who haven't joined yet, please do share your link with your colleagues your friends or somebody who would like to join this. Probably there's some restriction around. The YouTube live would not have that kind of a restriction, I believe. So please do share it with as many number of people. We'd like for you guys to be able to get the best result from this, right? Result is probably a very technical word, but yeah, the best takeaway from this. So please do share the YouTube link with your friends as well. Okay, guys, I think we'll sort of begin the session now. And first of all, it's quite a novel and a wonderful gesture on the part of the Pine Labs team in the HR team to sort of put this session together, because I still remember sort of suggesting or asking, is there something like this that we could do to the Quicksilver HR team also, because I myself faced a lot of such issues, right, where we started also working during the pandemic. We are either stressed out due to work or maybe the close surroundings around us, right? And at some point, we even don't want to sort of accept or admit that, hey, we probably are not feeling really great. It's not a great state of mind that we are in, right? But it's also great that we have people around us who can actually, who we are actually able to talk to today, who can actually sort of guide us through what are the best practices and how to reach out, if you need some sort of a help, if you're feeling stressed out, or, if you're not feeling really great, either on the work front or the personal front, right? So that's the whole intent, I think, on which this session was there. So thanks, Meena, Sana, the team, Rashi, and all of you guys for sort of putting this together for us. Something that I would also want to take you through is to help you understand who our speaker today is, right? There's a lot that probably we'll have to say about, but then, yeah, I'd like to call out the most important things about our speaker today. So introducing, guys, you to Henna Sharma, right? So Henna Sharma is a Chief Happiness Officer and co-founder of Hope and Happiness Coach. She's actually a renowned happiness coach from the International Coach Federation. And she's sort of worked with a lot of organizations and people, and she's an internationally certified Heal Your Life teacher and a workshop facilitator. What she specializes in is in building deep connections and bringing out positive change. She's a regular meditator and firmly believes in human potential to grow and evolve, right? And she's if you just Google search, you will find a lot of articles in the top national dailies speaking about the kind of awesome work that she's done. So welcome, Henna, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you at the Pine Lab session today on a health and wellness program, right? So also just to sort of tell the audience, the topic of the session today is discover happiness and mental well-being, right? So over to you, Henna. And like I said, guys, any questions you have, please do write to us on the chat, and we'll sort of pick it up once in a while. I mean, to sort of address it, right? Over to you, Henna.
Thank you so much, Vipin, for that wonderful introduction. I'm really happy to be here.
You're on mute. You may have to unmute yourself.
No, I am not on mute.
Okay.
Am I not?
I can hear her. Yes.
You can just help Henna probably come on the co-host privilege so that she can sort of.
I think Rashi can hear me. So in the
Yes, I can.
window, if
we'll have to wait, Henna. I think we're still not able to hear you.
Okay, so if you can hear me, just put a
audio is fine. People are saying so. Yes.
Vipin, I think you can't hear me, but others can.
Oh yeah, okay. You guys are able to hear, so I think maybe the audio is messed up on my side then. Okay. I think, guys, the audio is fine. All right,
yes.
Cool. All right, I think it's on my side. Sorry for that.
So
yes.
We will, wait for you to join in. In between, I'll say hello to each one of them. So you fix your audio, join so that you can hear me.
Now I can hear you. Yes. Over to you, Henna.
Wonderful, fantastic. And it was great listening to you also, Vipin. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here, so happy to be meeting all of you. And thank you, Pine Lab, for really bringing up this topic. And as Vipin also shared that, we all go through stress, we all go through tensions and anxiety. And especially now, during this such an uncertain time of pandemic, each one of us is facing that, whether it's kids, whether it's us in the middle age category, or whether it's the senior citizens. I think everyone is facing this stress today. So it's a great thing that Pine Labs has done to really stream this live on YouTube, so that not only you, but your family, your friends, your extended circle can benefit from this topic. And while we were thinking of doing something on discovering ways to happiness, we have already talked about it in the past. What I chose today is impulse to greater choice. Most of us take impulsive action, impulsive decisions, impulsive thoughts all the time. So let's choose from being impulsive to having a greater choice. And if you are with me, keep typing in the chat window, because I love to interact. I love to engage with each one of you, so that I don't feel I'm talking to my own laptop screen, but I'm talking to each one of you, connecting with everyone there who's watching this either live or on your laptop or on your mobile. You can always chat with me. You can ask your questions, you can comment, you can share your feelings. And that's what will make it interactive, not only for us, but for all those who will be watching it later. All right, so somebody is requesting for the YouTube live link on the chat window. If you can put that, please. And in the meantime, I will put my, I'll just share my screen.
Sure.
That we have a presentation here.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, give me a minute. So where are you joining from? Why don't you put it in the chat window, which place you are joining from? I am joining from Pune, and the weather is so pleasant here. Today morning, I was doing a laughter session in the Gurgaon region, Delhi region. Today morning, I was doing a laughter session, and it was so hot in Delhi. People were complaining like they are sweating while laughing. So tell me, where are you joining from? Wonderful. Kerala, Bhopal, excellent. Hyderabad, Noida. So happy to see you all from all over India. This is what I'm liking about virtual world, that we have this ability to connect with so many people. Yes, pandemic is there. Yes, we have all those challenges that we are facing, but this is the positive side of it, that we can connect, we can learn, we can share with each other. So here, I think you all can see my slide. Oh, wow, we have somebody joining from Dubai, Patiala. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my slide, or somebody, Rashi, Vipin, if you can see my slide.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much. Keep guiding me, because all I can see on my screen is the slide. So keep guiding me if I miss out on any important questions, comments, and we will definitely take it at the end of the session.
Okay.
So we will want to move ahead very quickly, because we have a little time. So what are we going to cover today is dealing with stress. Is it good? Is it bad? Why are we talking about it? And role of emotions in stress, how emotions play a role in dealing or managing stress. We come to managing stress, the ways that we can manage the stress, whether it's of any kind, and then some ways to increase well-being and joy, because the whole purpose of this workshop is to bring more happiness, joy in our life. So how to increase that well-being and joy in our life. We will leave some time for Q&A before we leave. So stress is what arises when something you care about is at stake, right? When something you really want, something that you need, something that you expect, and that doesn't happen, you get stressed. And I have a question for each one of you. Is stress good or bad? Type it in the chat box so that we keep conversing as I go ahead. Do you think stress is good, or do you think stress is bad? And once you do that, we come to the next topic, of how to deal with it, whether it's good or bad. So thank you so much. I am here. I'm getting a lot of answers. Bad, depends. Yes, continue chatting with me. So why is stress? Let's say stress comes when we are worried about the health of us and our family members. As you can see, the man wearing mask is thinking about what is going to happen. The future is so uncertain. There is so much of anxiety around me. So most of the time we are worried about health, career, relationships, and stress can arise from any of these things because these are the core areas that we truly deeply care about, right? So tell me, what is your stress? Is it coming from your relationship? Is it coming from your career? Or is it coming from your health? And this is a platform where you have come to explore something, to learn something, or to change something. So be honest. This is, I think, a confidential kind of place where we are not going to tell others, okay, this person shared this. So let's maintain that integrity and continue the conversation as we move ahead. So most of you are saying, yes, stress is bad. And some of you have said sometimes it's good, which I also understand where is it coming from. So tell me, those of you who think stress is bad, why do you think it is bad? And Prashant says, it's good to have some stress, otherwise we don't feel relieved from it, okay? So the stress is good or bad depends. Stress is how we respond when our needs and expectations are not met, right? Needs of personal life, needs of work, needs of career, needs of promotion, needs of raise in salary, needs of having a better relationship. There are so many needs, and that is why the second point is needs are universal. We all have needs, we all have expectations. So stress becomes a part of our life. Right. And Manish, very good point. It's all about good stress versus bad stress. How we respond becomes our reality. How do we respond to the stress that we face on a daily basis becomes our new reality. So let's take the current example of pandemic. Some people are really giving up, saying that, nothing is working out. For example, I have people who are working in business. And two friends both had restaurant. One said, nothing is working out. I am shutting down my business because there is no future in pandemic. Whereas the other one came up with the idea of doing a home delivery, preparing it in the kitchen and doing a home delivery. And that is working very well. So how we respond to the stress becomes our reality. So whether stress is good or not, the answer would be, how do we deal with it? And if we say the good part of stress is that stress motivates you, right? Stress is the motivating trigger behind every goal. If all the athletes take stress before the tournament and they channelize their energy, they do it in such a way that stress helps them practice, be more focused, and then win. So today we are going to find out all the strategies and ways that we can turn the current stressful situation in our life to a better coping mechanism and make it a more happier and fulfilling life instead of being in anxiety and depression. So it is about seeing the potential benefits, as Manish shared. And Vipin, what if I'm not able to understand how to respond to it? Yes, so this is a very, very important point. How we respond becomes our reality. And for the next part of the session, my focus is only going to be that. How do we respond so that the challenge becomes an opportunity, right? Okay. So let's have a quick look at this small clip before we move ahead.
Is a part of life, and it's not always a bad part of life. Most of us enjoy good stress in small doses, like roller coasters, watching sports, or even a scary movie. That's the kind of stress that keeps us young and on our toes. Then there's bad stress, or worse, chronic stress. Negative stress isn't just in your head. It can affect us both mentally and physically. Stress hormones in the body for extended periods of time can physically age our cells. So when you're stressed at work or home, your cells look and act older, making you look older and even impacting your immune system. Not only does it add years to your appearance, it can also affect your memory, making brain cells shrink permanently. Even short-term stress can make it hard for you to remember simple things. The good news is you can manage stress now to prevent more damage to your body and mind tomorrow. Stress management is a skill that can be learned.
So stress management is a skill that can be learned. So I want to ask you, that skill that we say stress management, you all know it's called resilience, it's called courage, right? Any ideas? How can we learn that before we move ahead? What did you see in the video that struck a chord with you? Is it about aging? Is it about raising of stress hormone? Or is it about coming from various places? What do you relate to so that when we have a conversation ahead, we can pinpoint that area? So as you do that, as you put in the chat box, where do you see your stress coming from? Let's come to the three main reasons of stress as to why stress comes at the first place. Number one is fear, right? I'll just adjust my chat window, yes. So number one is fear. Why is fear? Because whenever you are challenged with something, whenever there is a challenge coming to the body responds with the flight or fight response. The anxiety compels us to avoid what we are afraid of, run away. And yet avoidance leads to more fear. It's a vicious cycle, right? We keep running and then it keeps coming behind us. Then there is uncertainty. And there cannot be a better example of uncertainty of what we are facing currently. It puts us in a very uncomfortable state and can cause us the feelings of overwhelm. And, we want to know how to resist and fight internally against our own circumstances. But the uncertainty around us in our environment or in other people's eyes kind of bring that stress to you also. Then there is mind full of thoughts. I'm not saying mindful of thoughts, but there is a mind full of thoughts, what we are currently facing in the VUCA world. We have social media, we have news, we have work, we have family, and so many things going around us that we have a mind full of thoughts at every point. Every day we wake up, we have to-do list, we have certain things to achieve, we have certain things to take care of. And we are not able to focus completely on the present moment. And that is, again, a reason of stress. So what is your reason of stress? Share it in the chat box. Either we have covered it here or you have some other reason. Put it in the chat window so that we can talk about it as we move ahead. Fear of losing. Yes, absolutely, Saranya. That is one fear which all of us are feeling at this current time, which comes with uncertainty. What is going to happen? How are we going to deal with it? Will the vaccination work? What if, second wave comes, third wave comes, fourth wave comes? We keep thinking about that because these are such unprecedented times. Not able to perform, yes, that is again a fear of, sometimes we have fear of losing jobs, sometimes we have fear of losing relationships. There is a lot that we as humans go through on a daily basis. But the challenge is not what you're facing, but how you're dealing with it. So there is also, when I talk about building resilience and building courage, I really want to bring out the topic that, those people who come out of the challenges are really admired everywhere. So once again, in the chat window, I want you to think about a person who you really admire. And if you notice, that person must have come out of some challenge or adversity in life. It could be within your close family, your mother, your father, your sister, or your brother, or it could be in your extended family, or it could be in your workplace, or it could be in your friend circle. think of any one person who you really admire. And those people have the coping ability. The difference in how a person responds to stressful events is called coping ability, or as we call it, resilience or courage. And that's what makes them so admirable. Anyone who comes to your mind, they may be in this group or they may not be in this group. Turning adversity into challenge, recovering from an illness. So many people suffer from illness, but there are some who have come out of this illness. There are some currently who are we seeing fighting with COVID, or maybe still attending a call, and you appreciate them for all the efforts they are doing. You admire them, right? And that's what makes it different when you have the ability to deal with stress. The good things which belong to prosperity are to be wished, but the good things that belong to adversity are admired. Thank you, Sapna, for putting your mom's name here. Yes, we have people in our life who we admire, who are inspiration to us for coming out and for bringing a difference, not only to us, but to the entire world. And we have so many inspirational people to talk about. I am getting a lot of direct messages also in the chat window. So thank you so much for sharing your feelings. It really makes me feel proud that I'm interacting with you, I'm communicating with you, and I'm able to share your feelings with you. So yes, there are a lot of people who are going out of the way to help others. Thank you so much. The one person that I admire is Arunima Sinha. I am sure most of you must have heard her story of how in 2011 she met with a train accident where she was pushed. The train ran over her legs. She lost her legs. She broke her bones, spine. She was put in the hospital, and still there was a lot of conflict on how this happened. And she resolved to herself while lying down on that hospital bed that I am going to climb Mount Everest. Her inspiration was Yuvraj Singh, but that's how we, get inspiration from other people. And in 2014, she already climbed Mount Everest. And when she went saying that I want to climb Mount Everest, there are a lot many mountaineers there. But what makes her special is she is the world's first female amputee to climb Mount Everest. So that makes her different. She took the challenge as an opportunity, as a gift to make a difference, not only to her life, but to so many others who got inspired by her. So that is why the fact that you have the resilient ability, you have the coping ability, you will be admired by your workplace, by your larger circle of friends and family, and you will be an inspiration to many. Who do you admire? Put in the chat box so that we go and we read about them, we find out about them, and we get inspired by those people. So I'm sure each one of you have somebody who inspires you. So please put that in the chat box. Thank you so much, Mithun. That was very quick. Excellent. Now, let's talk about how most of us deal with stress. In any kind of situation, we have various ways to deal with it. Let's focus on the two ways here. We will talk about scene A and scene B. In the meantime, if you are getting some thought on who inspires you, keep sharing it in the chat window. It will help others to go back and read their story. Now, the scene A is, let's say Mr. X and Miss Y had to reach a certain place at a certain time, and the car breaks down on a beautiful November morning. It's nice and pleasant outside. The weather is beautiful. The occasion is great, but the car breaks down. Now, in scene one, what happens is Miss Y is throwing up her hands in the air, getting agitated, and bumping the car engine, hitting her toe, and then hurting herself, spoiling her dress. and losing her temper. Can you relate with this? If you can, write yes, because most of the time we kind of take out our anger and aggression on things, because car has no fault, right? It was not car's idea. Okay, today I will stop and I'll not reach that certain place. But we react, we put our reaction on other things around us by kicking, by throwing, by stamping, by, hurting ourselves sometimes, right? That is scene one. And if you can relate to it, have you seen somebody doing like that? Or do you do like that? You can relate to that kind of reaction which comes automatically when you are in a stressful situation. Now, the second, okay, so let's go to the second part, second scenario. What happens? Mr. X gets down to see what happened, and he opens up and there is all smoke. He knows this is a serious matter. This cannot be fixed. And what happens in Mr. X's mind? He thinks, oh no, not again. This always happens with me. Whenever anything good is happening in my life, some hurdle definitely comes. I have such a bad luck. Nothing works in my life. Do you know people who react like that? That's the scenario two, where what you do is you take the stress within. There is a blaming. There is a lot of inner thought that comes saying that nothing good ever happens to me. Things always go wrong with me, right? Have you seen certain people like that, acting like that in stressful situations? Thank you, Varsha. Yes, most of us do that. Either we behave like this or we behave like that. Most of us. And there is a third category, which is a mix. Let's say we have another category. Let's call him Z or Z. Okay. Now Z loses his job. Now what happens? Z is so frustrated, angry because he lost his job. He would come home. He would fight with his family. He would take some drinks and watch TV and again sulk and again complain and sleep. But next morning, when he wakes up, he realizes what he is doing. So Z says, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to now bring a change. So what happened here in the third category is that Z is combining scenario A and scenario B. So the first reaction was scene A. The second reaction was somewhere between CB, but that came to a scene C where he said, okay, enough is enough. I have, expressed it. I have taken out my anger and anxiety and all that, but staying in this condition will not help. Let me change something. Now, is that anything that you relate to? Thank you, Jitendra. Yes, sometimes it's me. Yes, it's me also. I also do that. Things never go right with me. It happens. But I then come to the third one where I see, okay, let's see what I can do about it. Who all are in the third category? So put in the chat box, who all are in the third category? Okay, great. Sunil, you are with us. Let's see who more. So as you put in the chat box how you react, scene A, scene B, or scene C, which is a mix of A and B, let's talk about the types of resilience we have. We have physiological resilience and psychological resilience and social resilience. Physiological resilience is more of your body, where it involves your physiology, how you take care of your diet, how you take care of your exercise, that makes your body resilient to outside stresses that come. Now, there is social resilience, which is about the relationships that you create, which is about your family support or social support if you have. So that is your social resilience, the people around you. But the fact is that physiological and social resilience are mostly towards an external side, which we can't really depend on. So what we can work on, which is an immediate effect, is the psychological resilience, right? Psychological resilience is a balanced lifestyle. It's an internal control on our thoughts and our body and our mind. And it involves some deep relaxation techniques. If I see social resilience, that takes a very, very long time to build. It is about building relationship. It is about having your team built so that you can have a network where you can go and talk about your stress, having a friend circle or having some relationships in your life that you can depend on. That takes a longer time. And the physiological resilience take a medium time, right? When you work on your exercise, it takes few months where you work on your diet and your exercise and you build the physiological resilience. The psychological resilience can be worked upon immediately. And that's what we are doing here. We are working on your psychological resilience. And how are we going to do it? We are going to talk about the 3 things that we have covered here. Now, most of you may think that deep relaxation is all about going to sleep. No, it's about being aware, being in the present moment, but still being aware and relaxed. We will talk about it as we move ahead. Any questions so far? All right, I have got a no from Sunil taking that cue and moving ahead. What I want you to do now, I hope you all have water bottles next to you. So keep some water handy, keep drinking, and we will do a small, deep relaxation technique before we move ahead. And that will prepare us and our body for the next part of the session. So if you want to have water before that, do that. Otherwise, sit comfortably as I put some music. Thank you, Varsha. I hope you all can hear the music. I want you to sit back wherever you are, on your bed, floor, couch, or office chair. Take few deep breaths, breathing in, breathing out. As you do that, notice the relaxation that comes with each breath. Once again, breathe in, breathe out. If you can, rest your back, but keep it straight. Let your head relax and close your eyes if possible. Let the focus be only on the voices around you. It could be my voice, the music that you hear, or the fan, AC, anything that is around you which is making noise. So I am assuming you have closed your eyes. Now, take a deep breath and exhale through your mouth. A deep exhalation. As you do that, your body relaxes. Your shoulders relax. Your arms relax. Your spine relaxes. So once again, breathing in and exhaling through your mouth, as if you're releasing all the stress, all the anxiety that you've been holding. And now, take few natural breaths, breathing in, breathing out. more natural rhythm of how breath is going in and coming out. And for a minute, be with me as I guide you through your day. With your eyes closed, imagine waking up on a typical day. How do you feel when you wake up? Are you grateful for another day? Or are you dreading getting out of that bed? Stay in that moment as you get ready for the day ahead. What are your usual thoughts while getting ready? Are you looking at the mirror and complaining of how fat you have become or how your body looks old and tired? Or are you appreciating yourself, admiring yourself in the mirror? Breathing in, breathing out. Imagine yourself coming out of your room and meeting other people in the family or at your workplace. How do you greet them? Are you excited to see them? Or are you judging them? Continue being in that guided space. As towards the evening, when you come back to your bed, what are the thoughts that you're carrying? Are you busy looking at other people on social media? Or you are internalizing about your day? I'm sure by now you are aware of the thoughts and emotions that come in your mind throughout the day. Whenever you're ready, at your own pace, come back to this present moment. If you wish, you can take a minute to note down any observation in your journal, paper, or wherever you're taking notes. Or please go ahead and share it in the chat box. Any thoughts that you experienced through this guided meditation about your thoughts, about how you feel throughout the day, from the time you wake up till the time you go back to your sleep. I'm sure you are now aware what are certain negative thoughts or triggers that you face during the day. Anyone who would like to share? How are you feeling? What awareness are you feeling presently? Any observations? Thank you so much. It's lovely to listen to all your, to read all your chat messages. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you, Jitendra. Yes, it relaxes. Any type of relaxation technique, whether it is mindfulness technique, whether it is guided meditation, whether it is just a focused attention, all these techniques helps your mind and body relax. And Jitendra, you can do it as many times as you wish. All you have to do is just sit at a quiet place and notice how you feel, what are you thinking, how your feelings are. Thank you, Sana. And yes, this is what it is, very relaxing, and you can use this technique anytime where you feel your body and mind stressed or getting anxious with certain thoughts. It's a good way to step back, which we are going to discuss in the next part. Thank you so much, Varsha. So our thoughts and emotions, there can be a lot going on at any point of time. And as we discussed earlier also, we have needs, we have expectations, we have demands, and that makes us worry and think about so many things, and it makes all the overwhelming feelings. So how it affects your mind, how it affects your body, because every negative thought that you think affects a certain region in your brain. It creates the anxiety hormones, and all of you have heard about the fight or flight response. What was that? When Mr. Winston Cannon came up with this idea of fight or flight response, that time he was referring to people who would go out hunting. And if a tiger comes in front of you, and how you react to it, either you fight or you flight, that is, run away from the situation. But now what is happening? We are not running away from the situation. Most of the time, we are fighting with the situation. Yes or no? Are we not fighting with the situation? Because it's not a tiger, right? The stress is due to the people who are closest to you, who may be either working with you or who may be in your family. So you cannot run away from them. You deal with them. You either fight with them. And sometimes it's with stares or glares or harsh words. But all our body goes through in that fight response, because the moment the brain gets the signal of fight response, it releases certain hormones. It takes a whole day to talk about how the physiology works when we are under stress. But in short, what I would like to say here is that the brain kicks some hormones and says, okay, time to fight. And then energy surges up. The fat cells get used up in the body. And then certain hormones released to fight. And what happens? The whole physiology gets shaken up. And the brain tells your body to either go in full mode or shut down. And when you repeat that again and again, it leads to more anxiety and depression. So I think you all have water next to you. I can't, tell you to come on a video and do it. I don't know how you are, because none of your video is on. So I will show you what we can do. So take your bottle and hold it in your hand. This is my bottle. Can you see my bottle? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Okay. So if you can see my bottle, and I'm holding my bottle, my hand is straight, right? All of you can hold your bottle like this. Okay, keep holding. How long can we hold it like this? Who was the wonderful person who just answered me that you can see my bottle?
Yeah.
Are you all holding your bottles? Great, Varsha, thank you. So how long can you hold? I can hold for 5 minutes. Sunil, great, you can hold for 5 minutes. I'll talk to you, Sunil, now. Can you hold it for 5 hours? Like this. My hand has already started aching. Give me answer quickly. No, thanks, Varsha. Yes, Anuradha, no, we can't hold it for 5 hours. Then how can we hold the thoughts, the negative thoughts in our mind for so long? Right? That is how we have to deal with stress. Stress is a negative thought which is weighing on your brain. If you hold it for a small time, see, water is a precious commodity. We need it to keep ourselves healthy. So is stress. A little amount of stress is good for our mind and body. But if we keep holding on for a long duration of time, it becomes very, very harmful. Just like our hand starts paining, next time you have stress, do remember this. If your hand can start aching and paining so badly, what must be happening to your entire physiology, psychology, as you do hold that stress for a longer period of time? So yes, these feelings can be difficult to avoid in this new world that we are living in, but we need to deal with it. We need to learn to cope with it. And that's what we are coming to next. So, okay, why am I coming here? This is really, why am I asking you to go drink soda? Okay, since we have only a few minutes left, let's come to this point. If you feel stressed, go ahead and take soda. You must be thinking, what is this happening, right? What am I talking about? Because here, what I am referring to is SODA, an easy acronym to remember. And that's what I always do. I play with my tools and techniques so that it is easy for me to remember instead of a big psychological term. So whenever we are stressed, the best way to deal with it is to stop, right? Pause. Whatever you're doing, we can just stop for that few minutes, and it just takes 5 seconds. For example, the meditative technique that we just did, the deep relaxation, you did it for 1 minute, few seconds, but you stopped for whatever you were doing, whether you were typing an email, whether you was listening to this video or anything else. You just stopped in that moment. And that is how you move ahead. So first is stop, and second is observe, right? Observe your thoughts, just how we observed our thought in a typical day that comes, how we wake up. What do we think when we wake up? What do we think when we see other people? Are we joyful or are we judging them? Are we admiring ourselves or are we criticizing ourselves? That is the observation of your thoughts. And once you observe your thoughts, you will really know what are the triggers of your stress. Is your stress coming from your work, or is your stress coming from the relationship, health? What are the triggers? And you can actually create a journal and start noting down all these thoughts that come during the day so that you really know which ones to work on. Because so the third one, let's come to the D. D is for detach. How do we detach ourselves? We are in that same house, we are in the same company, we are with the same team. How do we detach ourselves? The best way to detach is like we did just now. Step back. Let's say if you're sitting on a chair, right? Sitting on a chair, you can just lean your head back. As you do that, you're away from whatever email that you're typing. You are sending somebody an email, you're very stressed about it. Just step back, detach from it, put your head back, relax for a while. You're physically distancing yourself and take few deep breaths. And the moment you take few deep breaths, you're detaching your energy from that purpose to this purpose, right? That detachment happens immediately. So whether you are in a stressful conversation or work or project or something that you're working on your goals, always detach, be in the moment, and then go back to that thing. So we come to the last one, which is A. So how many of you love soda? Just put it in the chat box. Do you think this technique is good? Just put it in the chat box so that I cover the last part A and then we come to Q&A. So the last part, A, is for awareness of self and awakening of your inner self. We all are unique beings. We all carry certain unique qualities that we have, that the world needs. So awaken that energy within yourself. And then when you go back to the same situation, you will be able to deal with it in a much better way. So I'm sure all of you are really ready to take soda as soon as you are into a stressful situation. Thank you so much. So next time, whenever there is a stressful situation, stop, observe, detach, and awaken, right? And that will really bring you out of that stressful situation and give you a power to cope with it. So we talked about three things. We talked about deep relaxation technique. There are a lot of ways to relax. There is just the way we did, or there are many meditations which are available on YouTube. I will try and share the link in the chat box before we go so that you can use some of the techniques. Thank you, Sharanya. Though I actually hate soda. Same here. So much alike we are. I hate soda too, but I love to remember because this is my soda. Whenever I want to relax, this is what I go to. Okay, so I will try and share the link of the meditation in the chat window as well so that you can practice. And the other is balanced lifestyle. Why do we say balanced lifestyle? Is because it always helps to chart and see which area you're putting focus on. If you work on one area of your life, the other area gets neglected. For example, the car that you drive runs on 4 wheels, right? If we only focus on one part, let's say work, you're completely focused on your work, the other areas of your life, the physical health, the relationship, the spiritual health will get affected, and your car won't be stable. Similarly, your life won't be stable and it will not run smoothly. So let me come back to the main screen and talk to you all, chat with you. All right, if you want to come on the video, it will be great. And we can have a conversation, we can have Q&A. So before you go, anything that you took away from your session today, please put it in the chat window. In the meantime, I will summarize what we did today. So what is your key takeaway today? We spoke about stress, why it comes, why do we need stress? Is it good? Is it bad? Right? And we also spoke about the coping ability, how to build resilience and courage. And we also spoke about 3 things that usually are the triggers to stress: the fear, the uncertainty, and mindful of thoughts. And we talked about each in detail, how to handle fear, uncertainty, and mindful of thoughts. The meditation that we did was to tackle that mindful of thoughts and connect to your emotions and feelings. And then we talked about 3 kinds of resilience that we have, which is long term, which is medium time, and which is a small time. And we worked on the small time immediate results one, which is balanced life, deep relaxation. And what was the third one? Who would like to share in the chat window? Thank you so much, Sharanya. I'm smiling because you all are here with me. Thank you so much. And what are your key takeaways? Please put in the chat window and also start putting your Q&A. We have very little time. Vipin, do we have time?
Yeah, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. I think we can take some couple of questions. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, soda is a great takeaway for everyone. Just like how it works for me, it works for most of you. Wonderful. Yes, Gurman, stress is inevitable. It is always there. So coping mechanism is the key, and keep noticing the people that you admire because of their coping mechanism. And another thing, I think another action that you can take is whatever you have understood today here, or whatever you have gained from this session, go out and help someone who is in a stressful situation. It could be your team member, it could be your friend, it could be your family member. Whoever is in a stressful situation, help them with these techniques. and make a note of it in the journal, how it impacted them and how it impacted your thinking, so that you will see the change that happens when you help others. Definitely the stress level gets reduced, and it's a reinforcement of the same technique. So Sarana is asking how to deal with people who are stressing us. Any key point to stay positive even if they let us down? Yes, Sharanya, there will be people around us who will be stressing us all the time, whether it's work, family, relationships. And as I mentioned, sometimes the closest relationships are the ones which we have to deal a lot with stress, right? So what you can do is, there are various ways to do it. Number one, to detach yourself in thoughts, connections, and emotions, in the sense, this always happens with me. Why does this happen with me? Instead of detach yourself and see, why is it happening? Right? Why did this situation arise? What is the meaning of it? And sometimes what happens is, the other person who is stressing you may be suffering through some anxiety at his or her own level. So seeing them from that point of view gives you a coping mechanism to help them come out of that stressful situation. Then there is gratitude, then there is forgiveness, and a whole lot of techniques that can be used to make yourself positive, resilient, and then deal with the situation. But first and foremost, you have to see that the person who's stressing you may also be undergoing some kind of anxiety and stress. Vipin, did I miss any questions?
No, I think for the now, I think that's about it. Guys, please do share any sort of questions. It can be around the general topic of mental wellness as well, if you have that as a question as well. But yeah, please do share in your questions, and Henna would be most happy to take them right now. So please do share any thoughts that you have, any such related difficulties that you face, and that you could hear from somebody who's been there and done that, helping out people. This is a nice time to sort of get this suggestions, right? So please do share in your thoughts and your questions. And I think Gurman wanted to sort of state something as well.
Yes, Gurman, you're so right. Thanks for bringing it up. Yes, sometimes the stress takes so the first level of stress, there are levels of stress that we face, there are degrees. The first level of stress is something that you can manage yourself, you can cope up with it when it first arises. And as I gave you the example of the water bottle, the longer you hold, the difficult it becomes. And the more anxiety and negative emotions it creates in your mind and body, it kind of becomes a vicious circle, and it is difficult to come out of it, and you need professional help there. So how can you decide when it is the time to take help? If you're feeling the reaction in your physical body, like palpitations and sweating and lethargy, and not feeling motivated to work or talk, I think it's a clear emergency sign to seek help, and that will require professional help, which will help you deal with stress in a more professionalized help support. Otherwise, there are ways that you can deal with it, which we spoke about in the session. If it is at the first level, and it is always advisable to deal with it at the first level and not prolong it, not keep it in your mind and body for a longer time. And always remember the bottle example, so that you're not holding it for a longer time, because it's going to damage so many parts of our body, and we need a lot of help to come out of it. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you so much. There is another chat message that I see from Sunil. I think, about the physical pain. Yes, it is difficult when we are dealing with physical pain. Sunil, you definitely need help there as well. But at the same time, having the goal in your mind will help you come out of that physical challenge also in a more stronger way. And that is how, we have people like Arunima Sinha or people suffering from cancer and other illnesses who are such inspiration to us, because they cope with it, they come out with it, they take it as a goal that they have to recover and bring a change. And all these people are the inspiration behind so many more. So I think that challenge can also become a gift if we channelize our thoughts in the right way. And that is why how you think, what you believe is extremely important. And again, you all can keep a journal and you all can note the stressful thoughts that you feel during the day. And once you note on a daily basis, you will really be able to pinpoint after a week or 15 days that these are my stressful thoughts and how can I change them, or how can I work on them. And there is always support and help which is available if you are ready. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you so much, everyone. It is great meeting you all. Thank you, Vipin, for supporting me here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an absolute wonderful session, Henna. And if you asked, if some of the important takeaways for me was that, if something that you need to be mindful about, because most of the time we are not mindful about this. And, maybe it's not the right forum, but I had taken professional help at some point because, and I saw how it sort of changed a lot of things, right? It's probably a simple block, but probably you don't get it. Most of the time, like I asked, how do you even know what to do about it, right? So it's it's quite normal. And I think when you cover those sessions, there's another thing that I actually wrote down about how it's important to let go sometimes, right? Because the pain of holding on to something unwanted, especially, is it's not worth it, right?
Absolutely.
So, I think it's been an amazing session. Thanks so much for joining in, Henna. Sort of talking to our people, and by the feedback you sort of understand, how engaging it has been. Thank you so much for this, and we hope to have more sessions, maybe on related topics from you sooner.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and thank you so much, Sana, Amina, and the team, Rashi, all of you guys, for sort of putting this together. And I think, it is sort of helpful that we have this once in a while, because most of us don't discuss this, right? So this forum might be some place where everybody loves to discuss this. And thank you so much for your time, Henna, once again.
Thank you so much, Vipin. Thank you, everybody, for helping me, supporting me here, and wish you all a safe days ahead and happiness always.
All right, guys, please do share your feedback and your thoughts on this over mail to the team, and we would love to hear more from you. In the meanwhile, I think that's the end of the session. Meena, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the participants?
No, Vipin, we would love to hear everyone's feedback.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. And again, like I said, please do write in your feedback to the HR team at Pine Labs, and we would love to hear more about what more sessions we can do for you. And this is your host, Bipin George Burgess.